Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Avadh. I'm dedicated functional consultant in D365, and in today's topic we are going to discuss about the customer and vendor netting. This is a new feature introduced by Microsoft in version 39 and onwards. As before, there is a no netting features. So firstly, why we required a customer and vendor netting, we are going to discuss that. So suppose we have purchasing something from one vendor whose name is XYZ Limited, and we are selling goods to same vendor whose name is XYZ Limited. So we are buying and selling from the same vendor and customer, right? So at that time netting feature will be useful. So what netting will do, and as before, what is the process in such a case? So as before, what we'll do, there is a one option that as before there is no netting feature. So what we'll do, we are going into the journal and we are selecting all the open transaction of the vendor and all the open transaction of the customer, and we do the settlement related to the customer for the vendor and customer open transaction. And if there is a debit amount, and we need to then we need to receive the amount, so we'll do the customer payment, and if there is a liability, then we need to do the vendor payments. So that's how we are adjusting customer and vendor netting as before. And there is one more way, that will pass on all the vendor open invoice into the bridge account and all the customer open invoice into the bridge account, and out of this bridge account we'll check whether amount is a payable and receivable. If amount is a payable, then we'll do the payment, and if amount is a receivable, then we'll do the receivable. So there is a bunch of transaction for customer and vendor netting. There is a no direct process by the in ERP for a customer and vendor netting. So Microsoft is come up with a new feature and will reduce the so much of the entries and entries towards the netting, and even that increase the accuracy towards the customer and vendor netting. So to start up with in system, what we'll do, I'm going into the system administration module. In the system administration module, we have a feature management. So I'm going to select the netting feature over here. Yes, this is a customer and vendor netting system. So so I have enabled this feature. And after that, once I will enable this feature in account payable, in account receivable and cash and bank module, in a payment session, you have a new feature, new tab called netting, and in a netting you have all such a setup related to netting, which we'll see one by one. Same setup you can able to see in account receivable, in a payment, in a netting, and same in a cash and bank module. So all are same only, but here it is in a highlight version, and it is outside. Why? Because mainly this feature is related to the cash and bank module itself. So, but you can do from any module. It is the same link. So now what first we need to do, we need to go to the netting agreement. So I have created one netting agreement over here. So I'm creating new netting agreement, netting 2. Okay, so here I'm going into the journal name. We need to create a new journal name for a netting. So I have already created one journal name for netting. So here the journal type must be by customer and vendor netting. For this journal name, we need to select the journal name, journal type as in customer and vendor netting. And I have selected the voucher series. Rest of the setup you can use as per your requirement. Then, so what I will do, I will select this in my journal name over here. Then again we need to select, create one new netting, netting 2 journal name. So here I'm going into the journal name, we need to select the journal name, journal type as in customer and vendor netting. And I have selected the voucher series. Rest of the setup you can use as per your requirement. Then, so what I will do, I will select this in my journal name over here. Then again we need to create a one new main account, which is something related to the expense account. I have selected one expense account over here. So just a second, vendor netting account. Yeah, so this nature of this main account is a expense account. Why? Because it is a why we need to create this main account again. It is a bridge account. So suppose if I'm selecting parties over here, so what system will do, will transfer customer account in a netting amount and vendor account into the netting account, and ultimately this account will be nullified. There is no balance at the end. So this is a kind of a miscellaneous expense account. So I have created this account under the head of the expense, and I have selected as an subhead as an other expense. Right now what I am doing, I am selecting one customer, Fourth Coffee India Limited, and also selecting one vendor, and I need to select the start date from which all the open transaction you will able to find out for a netting. So this start date is important. As per your requirement, you can select this start date, then you can active this netting agreement, and then there is one tab of netting overview will enable. So over here you can see that the open customer balance is 25,000 and vendor balance is null. So I need to select some another vendor. I think so I have already selected one vendor over here, so I'm selecting the same one. I'm deactivating and selecting same vendor, so that we have some transaction to settle off. Yeah, so open we have a open customer account as an 25,000 and vendor account of 22 lakh, right? So over here what we'll do, we'll manually create a netting. So firstly we are creating a netting manually, then I will create a netting automatically also, right? So what I'm doing here, I'm selecting the netting date over here, and there is one transaction. I'm selecting this transaction as a mark selected transaction. You can also unmark that selected transaction. We have only one transaction right now, so I'm selecting this transaction over here as in 25,000. Then I need to select any one transaction from this vendor. So I'm selecting this 25,000 related transaction, mark this both transaction as selected. Yes, so once you will see over here that both transaction is selected, there is no pending customer balance. So customer balance after this settlement is a 0, right? What we are doing the netting as for 25,000. For vendor transaction after this netting, the balance is around 22 lakh. So this is how we can able to fence and netting amount of customer and vendor in summary. Then once we'll select both customer and vendor transaction, the post button will enable. So I'm posting this customer and vendor netting transaction. So this transaction is already posted. So here we can see the customer and vendor netting history in netting history button. So you can able to see that 25,000 of customer is credited and vendor is debited. Apart from this, you can reverse the netting from here, and you can select the date and click on reverse. Then these all netting entry will automatically get reversed. But right now I'm not doing this because we need to go into detail that what this transaction have a posting entry and what this transaction have a impact in their balance. Then we have also have a print for netting advice. So I'm showcasing you that print. Just it will take some time to get open. Yes, so you can find you can see over here, this is our company name, and this is a customer account and this is a vendor account, and this is the detail of the customer transaction and vendor transaction which we are settled with each other. So that's how it will work. A customer transaction settled with debit and a vendor transaction debit with minus credit balance. So so this is how the print is look like, vendor and customer settlement. Yes, in open detail view have all details. If there is a multiple lines, then also you can able to see, and same report of netting advice will come from here also. So this is a manual way of creating the settlement. Okay, but before that what we are doing, this is a manual way. There is a automatic way also to do the netting, but before that we are going into the customer and vendor, and we will see what is the impact of the netting in their accounts. So I'm going into this customer account. If you will see that this is a netting entry of 5,000, you can see over here, and after that balance is 0 right now. Okay, this is a netting entry, and voucher is like a customer debit and customer vendor netting account is a debit, and account receivable account credit. So this is the entry. Then same entry will be in vendor also. So the customer and vendor netting account will be nullified over here. So here also you can find that this is a netting entry. I'm going into the voucher, and this is you can see that customer and vendor netting account is credited in vendor netting, and vendor account is a debit. So that's how it is. Vendor account will reversed and settle up with customer. That's how it will work. So we have completed manual settlement over here, and then there is a for the automatic vendor and customer netting process, you need to enable the netting rules. So let me create one netting rules. So I'm going into the netting rules. Here I have selected one netting rule. So here if you will see, I'm deactivating this rule for right now. If you will see over here that we have a option to select the date. So generally we will do old payment first. I have selected by due date from old to new. You can select the invoice also from largest to smallest and smallest to largest. Then netting agreement for all. If you will select all, then all netting netting will create for all netting all the netting agreement. So system will automatically run the netting batch job by activating here for all the netting agreement, right? So here we have created 2 agreement. So if I will select all, then all these both netting 1 and 2 agreement, system will do the netting as per the batch job we have created. I will let you know how to create a batch job after this. So now I'm not going to create for both. I am just creating for rule number 1 only. Okay, netting 1. Then this is the one setup that you need to include the debit note and credit note of that particular vendor or customer during the netting or not. So I have turned on this. Then this is the netting criteria for vendor account, customer account, and invoice currency. So I have created for invoice currency as an INR. So I will only do the netting for the invoice currency, which is INR. Then I have activated this rule. Now once you will activate this rule, this is a process of automation. This I will let you know. Automatic netting, there is one option. So in automatic netting, you can directly select the netting rule, and you can perform the netting from here. Apart from this, we have netting agreement, right? So in netting agreement, if I am going into the netting one, because I have created netting rule for netting one, so here you will find the automatic netting option. Here I will select the rule. Just a second. Here 12,000 and this. Okay. So yeah, in automatic netting I am selecting the netting rule. Due date, netting rule due date and posting date I am selecting same only. So you can preview before the posting also. So I have turned on this and I am clicking on OK. So you will able to find out the invoice detail over here. So for customer they have selected 2 customer invoice, and for vendor they have selected 1. So this is 2 invoice, and this is the netting of the they have netted off this particular vendor account, only 1. As you can see that estimated netting is 3,94,000 for this particular invoice. So that's how you can see the detail, and once you are comfortable with this detail you can post it out also. So I'm selecting on post. So this is an example of automatic netting in netting history. This is for practice. I have already posted 1 transaction. This is the second transaction. Here in open details you will able to find out the details and also print out the netting also. So this is automatic netting process we have checked now. So in a customer we have settled 2 invoice, so you can able to see the here 2 invoice, and this is 1 invoice of vendor is settled with that 2 customer invoice. Apart from this, we have discussed that we can reverse the netting. So what I am doing right now for our testing, I am reversing this netting. So the status will be reversed. Yes, and if you will go here into the vendor, I'm going into that transaction. So you will see that this is these all are the netting entries. This is a plus entry, debit entry, and this is a reversal entry. So that is that I have a negative sign over here. So that's how we can reverse also this netting in the system. Apart from this, we have a automatic entry process here, automatic netting process. So for process automation, what we need to do, we need to go to that in process automation netting, in here process automation. Once you will go here, there is a create a new process automation option. You can schedule the automatic netting. Then you need to create a series. Here you can select any name. Then yeah, end date is I'm just selecting today's date. Here you need to select the time. Okay, then repeat and everything you need to select. Then once you will select, then you just need to click on next. If you will select, if you will see over here, there is a netting rule button. You can able to find all the active rules over here. You can select as per your requirement and also select the date here, and just you need to click on finish. Automatically batch job will run daily and as per our requirement, and will do the netting of the customer and vendor. Right now I'm not doing that because I have already created customer and vendor netting. You can see over here I have created this process, and if you will click on recurrence, then you will able to find that how much how much time batch job is run, and all the details of recurrence you will able to find over here. So this is for this rule based netting you can automate through batch job also. So that's it about netting. I hope you will enjoy this video. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you all.